In the Vietnam War, the Communists and the Khmer Rouge used landmines to wound American soldiers. But not to kill them, because a wounded soldier took more Americans off the battlefield than a dead soldier. The Viet Cong recognized early that head-to-head skirmishes with the Americans led to far more Viet Cong casualties than American casualties, and so a method of stealth and terror warfare was employed. They secretly set landmines and booby traps to invoke fear as soldiers moved through the jungles. The intimidation alone would take the minds of the Americans off their mission and neutralize their effectiveness. You know, in the 1970s, more landmines were laid in Cambodia than human beings who populated the country. All these years later, undetonated landmines have made Cambodia the leading country with the most amputated limbs, and many of the maimed are innocent men, women, and children. Landmines are devilish. And Satan knows that head-to-head combat with the church always leads to more casualties to evil, while it emboldens good. Therefore, Satan uses stealth and terror. Satan uses landmines. He has no intention to destroying the church outright, because a congregation of wounded Christians is far more useful to the devil than a congregation of dead Christians. Dead Christians have ceased to influence anyone, whereas wounded Christians terrorize their families and their friends and congregations with an assortment of dysfunctions and spread their influence to wound others, who, if allowed, are always out to destroy the work of God even further. In this series, let's talk about landmines. An effective pastor can spot landmines and remove them or prevent them altogether from being laid. Peter admonished us to be sober, be watchful, because your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, and in this case, cripple or paralyze your people. Among Paul's final words to Timothy, he said that falsehood would attack the church because those with, quote, inching ears would heap up for themselves teachers who would turn their hearts away from the truth and be turned aside to fables. But we as overseers in our congregations must be watchful in all things. Satan can disguise himself with smooth words and a pretty face. Paul reminded the Corinthians, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. But don't fall for it. Even Jesus said, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Satan loves to wound your people. And a seasoned pastor is constantly on guard, ready to sweep his church of any danger. This series is dedicated to the exposure of bad ideas, bad theology, and imposters, and the landmines that they set. And hopefully in the end, your church will be a safe, secure house of worship that bears fruit and nurtures the growth of believers.